Connie Thompson. My recent report on how insurance companies are using credit reports to cancel car insurance really struck a nerve.
Every week, viewers in Western Washington tuned into KOMO and consumer reporter Connie Thompson as she investigated all kinds of buyer bewares, from credit card balance transfers. What Karen thought was a solution to her high-interest charges ended up prolonging the high rate she was trying to get rid of. To new, cheaper diamonds. Women love the glitter, but as you're about to see, this new simulated diamond looks so real, it can even fool the technology designed to spot a phony. Connie joined KOMO in 1974. She was one of the first black women in broadcasting in the Pacific Northwest. She learned on the job, turning stories, pushing forward, even as the occasional hate mail was sent anonymously to the young black reporter. Connie was undeterred.
I'm happy that I came when there were at least two black men, Joe Washington, Art Morrison, who I could learn from, so that there were other people who looked like me as reporters in the station and in this market.
From early on, her stories centered around people and being in their shoes.
What's been happening in your life, Connie, recently for you to think about calling us when you did hear it on the radio?
Decades before the modern drug crisis, she took a camera into a drug rehabilitation clinic to show viewers what the process was like from a patient's point of view. Being escorted to a room that would be home for the next 4 weeks if I was actually a patient.
State Liquor Board officials predict we'll be spending even more money.
They tell me that you will want to give yourself at least 3 days for expo, so you have to think about all the things you could possibly spend money on in 3 days.
Here's what you have to do. You have to read the directions because you have to crush the can.
Connie's career spanned 46 years, and her stories read like a timeline of Seattle.
When schools were desegregated, and I was covering education.
Well, one Washington delegate told me her utmost concern was that the 20,000 women here will be able to communicate.
The women's movement and the National Organization for Women and the Women's Conference. Watching the Kingdom be built, watching the Kingdom be imploded, watching the Sonics win, go, just so many changes that I was a part of.
KOMO's longest-running consumer reporter retired in 2020. But it's impossible to know how many people Connie has helped, because, as it turns out, she never really stopped.
Are you still solving other people's problems?
So yes, I still do that, and I still research, and I still find out information to help people and help myself.
They call them stun guns because the electricity immobilizes the muscles. Ah! If I'd held that on longer, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you. I'd be on the ground. They're nothing to play with.
Now, a KOMO News 4 News Brief.
But sometimes foreign objects do get stuck inside those kids' treats, and we don't want any of those kinds of mishaps this year. With your costumes, where I've got a lot of company back here. And have them carry a flashlight with them. Make sure that they avoid crossing the street where they're not supposed to cross, going to houses that are not well lit. Some of these things are typical precautionary measures that we sometimes forget about.
Oh my God.